Scylla, they really do have a phenomenal hunter player to fill in that long lane role, and Mingyu's probably going to be comfortable on whatever he's handed. Whether he has to play against the AMC or an Uller, I don't think that really matters to him because he is proficient enough to know how to properly handle that kind of situation.
Yeah, in that game that we saw, I don't think Mingyu was really the weak link there. In fact, I think it was the team engagements that he felt that he needed to jump into kind of threw him off.
Exactly, yeah. The biggest issue here is they need to fix the solo side of the map in the early game and mid game, so Mingyu can come in and carry his team into the
Isn't that
game.
the story all the time, though? It's just so much focus in the solo lane until we get to the mid game.
It is the current meta, but I think Scylla's job now is to fix that and make a shift in bans, like we said.
Maybe Scylla can take a step back, be a little less aggressive, and make sure that their team is there ready for the engagement.
I think one important thing to note is that they're on their first pick side as well, so they can take the Osiris early if bans go the same way.
Would definitely prefer to see them actually put a more hyper pressure composition for the jungle and solo at least. I think that was their primary downfall, is that sure they found that first blood early on, but if you compare the spread of those two drafts from that last game, it was very one-sided for Nocturne having that early game aggression to kind of toy around with and basically have a little bit more play room as well because they don't have to worry as much knowing that their gods are best at the start.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of the Sylvanas ban so far. Obviously, Nocturnes are very comfortable with it. He had the full confidence to blink in and pull from max range.
Yeah,
That's
Noi2 Lover, you do not want him to get Sylvanas again, especially if they're going to build into the Isis. There's just too much utility, too much CC going on in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Nocturnes know what they're doing. They know the Osiris was a huge deal for them last game, and they don't want to give it to Scylla this game.
This might actually be one of the first instances that I could imagine Uller to get through. So far in the competition, he has been banned away quite a lot, and it's still not going to happen. Even with Scylla having the first pick opportunity, they don't want to offer it themselves.
I think now Nocturnes are forced to ban the AMC here because I think Scylla might be taking a page out of LG's book from yesterday, first picking that AMC.
But then who are you leaving? Are you leaving Odin, Raijin?
Kakulin is who I would probably keep in mind for Scylla Esports. I think that it'd be very strong as well for their laning phase.
Was Kakulin? Oh, Kakulin was banned last game, right?
Kakulin actually was not banned at all.
Yeah, he wasn't banned or picked.
Last game.
So why? Why didn't we see Kakulin get prioritized
I
there?
do like him in the jungle, so I think Scylla could run him in the jungle. Obviously, they didn't get the AMC this time. They're going to go for the Raijin on Shred.
Yeah, with that Raijin ban last time, it definitely seemed like they didn't want Shred to have it. But now that Shred has it, I can expect like a lot of damaging abilities coming out of him.
Having that pressure in mid is great, but if Scylla started off like how they did against Luminosity and not putting anything else to pressure that alongside of Shred, I do feel as though they need to establish the map pressure very early on, and that will help them in maintaining it, because that's kind of the history with Oshi. They're more than capable of building up a lead for themselves. It's just keeping it going.
They did too, and they had a lead, and they tried to capitalize on being too aggressive, but that aggression turned on them. And like you said, bro, that Gold Fury fight, they just weren't really confirming anything with it.
No, exactly. But I don't mind the Raijin pick. You know, they've had the opportunity yesterday to learn from these mistakes, and now's their chance to prove it on the same god again.
Ooh, Fafnir and Erlingsson going to Nocturnes Gaming, and then Robin, of course, going over to Scylla.
I still like the Robin pickup. I think that Envisionize did a pretty solid job, given that there wasn't a whole lot he could actually work with once Scylla fell behind. But Robin still provides great pressure and a great front line, more importantly, for the Raijin, who is probably going to be the target from Nocturne.
I think this audio pick is actually going to be great here. Already three escape abilities on the side of Nocturnes. That cripple is going to be very, very useful.
Yeah, from the dash coming from Fafnir and the jump coming from Fafnir and the dash coming from Erlingsson, you definitely want to cripple them. You don't want them. Do you think it's going to be a cripple from running away, or do you think it's going to be an engagement cripple?
I mean, it can be both. You know, it's pretty easy to stop Erlang from knocking other people up with that Mink and Turtle. So.
Man, I was hoping for a second Isis, but Isis just provided too much utility in that last game.
I certainly agree with it. I'm not sure if they would have picked it with this comp, but either way, get it out of the way.
They don't want to risk it.
They definitely didn't enjoy playing against it last game.
It would be too annoying because you still have the same sort of combination between the Erlingsson having the opportunity to go into that turtle knockup form, immediately met with an Isis Silence or a Spirit Ball. You're not really moving anywhere, and Fafnir on top of all of that. But this god that could potentially come into play, that's a pretty hot pick.
Toth, he was played a lot during regionals, but we haven't seen him yet during the World Championships. Ro, why is that?
I don't think he's that great overall.
Especially at the start of the game.
Yeah, his early pressure is his biggest issue, and Scylla right now are drafting a lot of early pressure, so that could be Nocturn's downfall.
But could it be possibly that they're sacrificing this early pressure because they see that Scylla has so much and they're instead going to try and utilize something else?
I think Nocturns could still pull it back in their favor in terms of early pressure, but with the Thoth, not so much. And once again, another dash for Audio to stop. I think this Thoth is going to be getting jumped on a lot, especially.
Oh, please give us Anubis. Come on. We always see Anubis in the World Championships. Lock it in.
Here. He has to happen. If you're going to hover it, you got to lock it.
You can see him shaking his head, too. He's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
I think this is Envision Eyes just playing with the crowd. This is what he does.
Oh. But Certanos, we haven't seen him yet, so that's an addition.
He went from being crowd favorite to being most hated.
That's a modern day tragedy right there, but can't really hate on the Certanos pickup. I still think that this Thoth selection is something to keep an eye out for, but this is the part that I am loving is with the bans that Nocturnes went with, Odin was on the table.
Yeah,
That's
of course.
huge. I don't know how Nocturnes can pull it back. I'd almost, if you want to ask me for predictions right now, I would almost say Scylla almost definitely.
Yeah, the Odin and Artio, like the maintaining is insert.
I'm wrong.
Okay, you're wrong.
I think I'm wrong.
Why do you think you're wrong?
I think the Circuit's going to be a massive threat to this Odin. It's not going to be easy to keep him alive inside his own cage. He's going to try to bully this Erlang and Thoth, but this Circuit's going to be shutting him down and putting a lot more damage back onto him.
Looking at these two teams, Taco, what does Nocturne have over Scylla?
Nocturne has experience. That is the main point of view that I will always view whenever I watch Oceania versus anyone is that they're typically going against teams with a little bit more experience. Draft-wise, I think Scylla nailed it. I think Scylla should win this off of their draft, but I have a feeling that Nocturnes might get the one up on them.
All right, last game you gave it to Nocturnes, you gave it to Scylla. Is it going to be the same?
I'm going to give it to Scylla this game.
So am I. I think they'll struggle a little bit. It's a much more even draft than I would say last game was, but they certainly have the potential, and it's very obvious. We'll see it inside those Odin cages.
If they apply that same early pressure and maybe a little bit more careful with their team fights, this can definitely be Scylla's game. Everyone, it's game number 2, Nocturnes versus Scylla Esports. Let's head to the casters.
Thank you, Kelly. We are here, game number 2, Nocturnes versus Scylla. We're saying, the analyst desk was saying, I should say, that the draft from Scylla is really great, particularly this Odin.
Well, the main reason is lane clear early on. Look at the comp Scylla have drafted in game 1. Nocturne control pretty much every lane in terms of clear. Game 2, Scylla have the same sort of start here. And it's going to be the Odin support, which I do like to not have that in the solo lane, not have an RTO support.
It perfectly suits Tori's guy's playstyle as a very aggressive support. You know, he loves his Sobek, as we saw.
Sure.
Ares is another one of his things. This is one of the first times I think I'm seeing him on Odin support, so this is really showing some of his diversity now as a support. Mingyu spots out Naughty Lover there on the left-hand side.
So going more in depth now, Shred and Mingyu should get pressure in this mid wave quite easily. 2 damage dealers first of all, and Raijin and Certanos at that. They will clear up nice and quick against a Thoth and a Fafnir, specifically if they do block that Fafnir hammer for free.
And we see Odin just going to be able to go ahead and get a lot of damage on this minion wave here early. Left alone, this right-hand side is where all the action was last time, and we can see that the 2-on-2's happening there again.
Yeah, the right-hand side is actually beat down City right now. As you can see, SMITE getting a little bit lower at the start, and you'd expect that because, you know, Raven and RTO should generally win that matchup against the Circuit and the Erlang Chef.
Early invade here from both Mingyu and Shred going for the red buff. They just get the small minions away there, and Zion 6 goes in and confirms that the buff is still there. But still, Scylla playing a little bit more aggressively in terms of their rotations this time. Last time they got an early lead from the First Blood and didn't really make it worth.
But look what Scylla did there. They get the babies, like you said, at red, then get the left-hand harpies, which means they hit level 2 before the wave is even there for the second time. Left-hand side, though, Odin, oh no. Oh, the minions, the blue stone on the minions just cause him to get whacked on even more. Zion 6 will be a little bit healthier.
That was a great stun from there. It's so hard to get that stun off on Hachiman. The fact that he was able to do it and time it perfectly as Tori's guys landed. Zion 6 is a player we haven't heard about much from Latin America. He might be the next NozQ.
Well, just keep an eye on him and see how he goes with this one. I keep an eye on the relics too this time round. You do see a blink online for SMITE on that Circuit. We saw him do that yesterday as well. No real surprise to see it again. But we've already got a Phantom online for Naughty Lover, just in case this Odin comes into play.
Envision Eyes taking a lot of damage, as is SMITE. He's going to be able to jump away. KO a lot more comfortable on this Ardio, it seems, than on a Jing 10.
And now the blue buff being looked at by Scylla on the right-hand side. But Beltway back to try and aggress once more.
low mana for KO here, so he doesn't have all his abilities available. This could be a mistake here from the Squid Squad, and SMITE makes KO pay. Envisionize is the next target here, jumping forward to SMITE. Great stun there from Nozq through the wall. Envisionize taking so much damage, trying to do what he can, trying to get that heal off, but SMITE dashes forward and claims the kill. 2-0 early on here for Nocturnes.
So Nozq rotates over from mid to the solo side of things. Meanwhile, Scylla decide to go the opposite route. Shred and also Mingyu went for the Oracles instead, so focusing more on farm than gank opportunities. But it is giving Nocturne an even game now, because as you saw from the invades early on, this is kind of how you can relieve the pressure sometimes that you've got when you're in negative lane matchups in terms of clear.
Shred has to make this golden experience lead he's picked up now something. He has to turn it into something. Last game, he got a little bit of a lead from getting the first blood and didn't turn it into anything. He has to capitalize on that lead this game to make up for those 2 early kills.
The worst problem is both those kills went to a Circuit, and Circuit in the early game getting early kills is just going to allow it to get that gold online a little bit quicker. 400 gold for first blood, remember, and go for plays like this.
There's the ultimate coming out of SMITE onto KO. Good Aegis use there from the Ardio. SMITE taking a lot of damage, but now it looks like Beltway wants to clean up his jungler's kills. KO dashing away. He's going to be A-okay.
I love SMITE running away from that as soon as the Aegis is popped. He was too low to continue to wait for the Aegis to wear off, and that meant problem. But hello!
It's Torres guys here trying to get the cage off. No, he's saving it. He's baiting out the taunt from Beltway, and that is a big Erlang Shen ultimate wasted.
Good enough, and that's a big change here with Mingyu now rotating back towards the dual lane after starting in the mid with Shred. It means that Torres guys is going to start to pressure wherever he's really needed. One of the best targets for him to pressure is Beltway, who was a monster last game. Already 2 assists in this one, thanks to the help of his jungler.
Yeah, I agree there. I really like the Odin start over on the left-hand side by himself. It allows him to hit level 5 very quickly, basically getting solo farm, which a lot of times he doesn't get elsewhere on the map. Mingyu forced into the beads. The Aegis used from Zion 6 as well. Zion really feeling himself here, gets another auto attack off, but not looking like Mingyu wants to really stick around and fight.
I like Zion 6's choice there. I don't think he had vision of where the rest of the team was. He had his ultimate available too, and beads were already down for Mingyu, so he could have all in committed there, chose the safer option just to get presence in this lane, be able to continue to farm up instead of going for the solo kill that was technically available there.
Speed buff and blue buff secured here by Scylla. We saw SMITE peek his head around the corner, try and get a cheeky steal away like we saw Mars do yesterday, but it was not to be.
And now with the situation here, with Nocturnes now getting kills on this right-hand side, it means that, you know, presence on this side of the map is definitely in favor of Nocturnes, so Scylla have to look elsewhere. And the problem is you just saw that trade between Zion 6 and Mingyu that went against Mingyu, and now there's pressure in mid once more.
And Envisionize getting ulted there by SMITE. He's forced to ult away, so an ult for an ult trade there, but it means that SMITE and Beltway are able to clean up these fire elementals, and again, just building up the golden experience lead for this Circuit.
Yeah, SMITE on this Circuit, we saw him yesterday, he looked good in it there, and he's doing the same sort of business once more, looking to continue to pressure both mid and this solo side of the map, just continue to allow Beltway to farm up to that point where they're going to ignore the Erlang Shen, and then that's going to cause them so many more problems. Scylla, though, they need to potentially start looking at trying to set up some baits and traps in the jungle, using these Odin cages, using these taunts and the boars for the side of them.
This is where Odin's strong. Torres guys blinks in. Phantom pop now by Nocturnes. No ultimates used by them. Both Noitu Level and Nozq are able to get away.
But I like that timing of that engagement coming out there from Torres guys. Reason being, hang on a second, piggies are not going to be available this time. The man fight is on. There's no relics for either of you. Who's going to win the trade? Mingyu comes up big, and the reason being, if Zion 6 would have stood in the... Oh, no. Goodbye, Ming. Buffet to the rescue.
That's great. That's great there from Noitu Lover. KO in a little bit of trouble here as well. Forced to the Aegis, gets taunted in by Beltway, and Beltway cleans up the kill on the solo laner.
Biggest issue for that solo kill there, Mingyu should not have won that. Just want to point that out. First of all, what happened is Zion 6 wasn't stood on his banner. If he stood on the banner, he would have had a bit more auto attack speed, would have found the autos, but he stood in the nasty brambles of Mingyu, and that was enough to bring him down.
He was too overconfident. He's like, I have enough damage that I can clean him up before these brambles will kill me. He's going to miss auto attack. What every ADC thinks, that I've got this, and you needed to play ADC at a competitive level.
But now I'm excited to see what happens next round. Those two go back to the duo lane to see each other once more, because those relics will be available again. They're both up at exactly the same time. We'll see how those trades continue. But it's 4-1 to Nocturnes, and Zion 6 got the better of Ming there.
Shred jumping away. Torres guys actually is the one that stunned out. Uses that Raven shield. He's going to be okay. Envisionize rotating in here. We haven't seen too much out of Envisionize this game. He hasn't been very aggressive on this Raven, which you kind of need to be.
This has always been the issue I've had with Raven jungle throughout the whole year, realistically, is that Raven is very, very strong at going aggressive early. But if you're just going to try and farm up with him, you have to make him work at some point. And your clock is starting to run out before he just becomes another frontline warrior that's going to cause problems. You can engage a lot earlier on, but because he's been behind against SMITE early on, that first death of his caused him so many problems. It's just kind of made this warrior a little bit more lackluster in the early stages.
Well, we're still in the early stages right now, but as we head towards the late game, whose team comp do you really see having the advantage?
When we get to the real late game, I mean, you've always got to take into account NozQ. We saw his snipes last year, and this is tough. It's another god with a great long-range snipe. Can he make that final judgment work for himself? In the later stages of the game, you're going to be relying on that. Zion 6 is going to have a lot of damage too. Big interesting swing, I'd say, as this game continues, because a lot of Scylla will start to struggle as this game goes on.
Yeah, the Ardio, the Raven, the Odin all frontline here. Odin going in here. It's Tory Skies. No2 Lover going to turn into the Dragon. Phantom popped again. They're looking for Shred. Shred taking a lot of damage. Final Judgment comes out and SMITE goes in, but he misses Shred. Shred, though, still going to get cleaned up by Beltway, and Tory Skies going to fall down. Double kill here for the Erlang Shen. In goes Envisionize. He takes a lot of damage, and then he bails.
So I saw SMITE and I went, no, he missed the free kill. And he was like, no, he trusted in Beltway coming in the back going, oh, thanks very much for that free kill. That'll give me one. Meanwhile, it means they can get a second kill because of that, because they commit to the backline instead. And that is fantastic play from Nocturns, working so well as a unit.
That's great teamwork, great trust and chemistry there between this Nocturns team. The core three of which, NozQ, SMITE, and Beltway, have been together for so long. They're all three names that we know.
And you can see the amount of pressure that Nocturns put on that right-hand side of the map. They are playing around the three that know each other so very, very well. They've left Zion 6 in this, dual lane just to do his own job. And No2 Lover seems like a fantastic addition. He's played very well on the Scylla. On Sylvanas Scylla. I mean, technically he was on Scylla because he's been crushing them all day.
Wow.
But then Phantom as well, like going for this Fafnir early on in the draft, picks up the Phantom, gets his team out of danger every time.
So we're seeing a bit of a lead here right now for Nocturns. 3,000 experience, 2,800 gold, just steady increases all the time. And, getting those kills has led into map pressure. Whereas for Scylla, they got an early kill last game and it didn't really lead to pressure. They got a solo kill this game and it didn't really lead to pressure. So they drafted pressure on all their lanes, but they're just not getting map pressure anywhere.
Well, since the start of the game, when you saw the first two kills go to Nocturns on the right-hand side, I mean, Scylla have been trying to make plays over and over again, using Tory Skies and this Odin to blink and initiate, but they're not playing around the Fafnir. You have to play around this Fafnir, make sure he's either not got Phantom up, or second of all, well, they're not playing around the left-hand side right now. There's a gank going on, but Zion 6 is able to aegis most of the damage.
And now he's the one chasing down both Mingyu and Tory Skies. Mingyu going to beat away here. Here comes No2 Lover. If he can hit a hammer here, this should be it for Mingyu and Tory Skies. He does. Mingyu, too much damage here. SMITE is here. SMITE is everywhere. He ults Tory Skies, who jumps away, but he's going nowhere. SMITE with the double kill.
Don't know how Nocturns got to this left-hand side first. And Envisionize has come in so late to this fight against three. And now NozQ's round the back too. Raven could be in a world of hurt. He may have to ult defensively if he's not careful.
Nope. Too late. NozQ with a snipe. Same old story. Same old story.
But how does Nocturne get there ahead of Scylla when Scylla know they're ganking left-hand side? How do you not know to make sure that rotation doesn't happen before Nocturne's just wrap around the back and clean everybody up?
Shred looking for the steal here through the wall. He doesn't quite have the damage to get it with the Taiko drums, and Nocturns are the one that claimed the first gold fury of the game.
This hurts. It's hurting right now, especially when we're all looking at this going Scylla. Great wave clear early on, good chance of good jungle control, good composition. On paper, the comp is definitely in their favor. Actual skill and ability level, though, it looks like the Latin team are just looking like they edged them out quite a bit.
And the experience as well. The analyst desk talked about it, especially Taco going on about how Nocturns have been here at the world stage. They've been to multiple lands. They've been to multiple events. For a lot of the Scylla Esports lineup, this year was the first time they attended not only Worlds, but lands in Oceania as well. So true rookies, a lot of them, to the competitive scene.
And I think that's a big key, is everyone thinks of Oceania as the team that has come previous years to hire as Expo. This is a brand new team, so it's almost like restart factory settings once more.
Look at this Beltway fighting 1v2 here. Spitero on his way. He gets the heal back up. He could probably win this 1v2, but Spitero comes over here to make it a bit more of an even fight. He taunts in Envisionize. Noitu Lover's here as well. Envisionize forced to ult away, but Noitu Lover is waiting. The tick from the last breath poison is enough to put him in the ground.
By jumping in place there, Envisionize guaranteed he was dead because it allowed the auto from SMITE there to proc those poisons for the extra damage. If he would have leapt away, he potentially could have lived there. KO couldn't do anything. He was completely out of the mana at that point, and now Nocturns going to abuse the kill on the right-hand side by getting the tier 1 tower on top of it.
More gold in the pockets of Nocturns Gaming, really getting towards that stage where it's almost impossible for Scylla Esports to come back. But if they were to do it, how do they do it, Hindu?
Well, realistically, it's going to be a steal more often than not, or maybe trying to find a couple of picks like Torres Guys keeps looking for. I like Torres Guys' attempts. That's what I like. I just don't think it's really worked out. Zion 6 playing very safe there. Ooh.
Yeah, well, Portal Demon's fallen down, so he knows his teammates aren't coming to his rescue anytime. He doesn't have a whole lot of vision over on this left-hand side, so I do like the call there. You know, why risk it?
Why indeed? I mean, just play safe, make sure you get away, just in case Odin blinks in after the leap and gets in range of you to trap you in. You're going to be forced to use relics that you don't need to, while the rest of the team gets a free Portal Doom. Works out well.
Exactly right. We said earlier as well, Hindu, that a Circuit with a bit of a lead can play havoc, and that's exactly what Spitero has done. 5-0-4, part of 9 of the 10 Nocturns Gaming's kills.
Can we notice as well that he went for Wingblade as well for the extra movement speed and to get rid of some of these slows that are going to cause him issues so he can run just a little bit quicker, get away from some of these traps.
Very reminiscent of what Mars did yesterday against this exact same Scylla squad.
Yep. And the big thing about that is, like, you know, Odin's got slows, Shred's got some slows too. A lot of these characters are built to slow people, the whole of Scylla. And so this Wingblade is going to cause them so many problems when this Circuit is able to just juke and jive all the way through the fight and not have to worry about it.
Torres guys thought about going in there, but I think at this stage, Scylla are starting to get a little bit scared, or they might be waiting for Mingyu, who's coming around the corner. There's the Phantom used there by Noitu Lover. Mingyu taking a lot of damage. You've got to be careful of Zion 6 coming around the back, but they've got to be careful of Spitero Nozku with the final judgment. Mingyu taking so much damage here. There is the ultimate from him, but Beltway's going to be the one that picks up the kill. Shred taking a lot of damage from Beltway, who's just diving under the tower. In the meantime, the rest of Nocturns is turning onto Scylla, and Visionize does manage to save the life of his mid laner, but Zion 6 picks him up with an auto.
It's like lambs to the slaughter now. They're all running on their own just to try to get away. KO goes back in, only to fall down too. This could be a deicide, and it will be 15-1. Less than 15 minutes in the game. Nocturns Gaming, well, it's looking like they're going to be the ones to face Rival tomorrow.
It's been a brutal set so far for Scylla Esports. Nocturns Gaming, though, this has got to be confidence boosting for them. You know, this is the kind of performance we usually see from a North American or European team against another international squad. The fact that they're able to do it has got to give them a lot of confidence heading into tomorrow.
Definitely, and not too many mistakes out of them in the grand scheme of how this set went down so far.
You say that, and two of them just get knocked up by Fire Giant.
Curse.
Exactly.
I was trying to play bingo, okay? I just wanted to make sure the bingo was hit.
Yeah.
Caster's Curse into making sure the bingo cards hit. That's the main thing. So yeah, the big thing for Nocturns with this one is they've got Rival next potentially.
Yeah.
And Rival, you know, they'll be looking at this going, okay, we may actually have a proper game tomorrow that we have to worry about a little bit more. So especially if it was a lot scrappier, you know? If you went backwards and forwards, you'd kind of look at it and be like, well, I guess Rival should just walk through them in the quarterfinals tomorrow. But I don't think that's going to be the case here. As, you know, last year, this team technically proved that they could beat a North American powerhouse. Can they do the same to Europe?
Well, we shouldn't count our chickens before they hatch. And Scylla Esports still
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to cast here, Hindu. Just
you're
making me feel bad.
Me too, but there's something to cast.
I can't. I just can't. You're good to do the rest of this by yourself, right?
KO surrounded by 3. Goodbye, KO. You will be missed. Over the wall comes Nozku. The rest of Scylla grouped up in the mid lane trying to four-man farm, I guess. Left-hand side, Zion 6 is split pushing. Zion's going to be a little bit careful about overextending here, but he's got good ward coverage, so nothing is going on. This is where Scylla gets desperate now, Husey. They go for the gold, and they might actually get it for free.
They do have to use their Raijin ult there to get that one. Thanks for taking that, by the way. Got a good drink of water. Now on the right-hand side, Tier 2 tower going to be falling the way of Nocturnes. They basically get the same gold they would have got from the Gold Fury anyway.
Well, this is a very similar situation to Game 1 now for Scylla, where they just can't fight. They're too far behind. behind in terms of gold, too far behind in experience, and these team fights haven't worked out for them. Every time Scylla have tried to engage, Nocturne have had an answer.
Exactly right. What Scylla need to do now is look for Nocturns to make a mistake, but they aren't making many. Final judgment being channeled just off the mark there from NozQ. Mingyu still taking a lot of damage. Will the hieroglyphic assault hit? It will not. NozQ and the rest of Nocturns looking to take this mid-tier
Good shot from Beltway, the ring down from Torres to slow them down and keep them trapped in. No use of the Phantom this time round, as NozQ just pumping out the damage to the backline as good as possible. But this could be a good defense from Scylla here. They've held for a moment. They're just going to be careful about overextending.
Envisionize blinks in and is immediately deleted by NozQ.
I just, as long as you don't overextend, it might be okay. Nope, they overextended.
I mean, you actually cursed my team.
I'm trying not to. Look at cheeky NozQ over the wall. Look at the damage on KO. And Noitu will get the kill for free. Torres Skies pinned in place. SMITE and Zion 6 will pick up another kill apiece. 20-1, and a Phoenix is under threat.
That damage is filthy out of SMITE right there. Shred, the only member of Scylla left alive here to defend the Phoenix and potentially even the base. Envisionize is up in 3 or so seconds, but I think by that time the second Phoenix will have fallen.
He should have fallen on the right side, especially with a couple of minions being there too. Shred with the ultimate, trying to defend to the best of his ability. It'll slow them down for a second, especially knowing that respawns might be coming through. Lack of minions, take that into account.
Scylla will gladly take that moment to breathe right now, collect themselves a little bit, and really think about what they've got to do from here. They have to play around. Exactly. A lot is the short and sweet way to put it, but they also have to, as I said, they have to look for a Nocturne's mistake, and they nearly caught them there. You know, NozQ was a little bit too quick on his Aegis, and Torres Skies got some damage off, and if they were able to focus that target, they could have potentially found a kill right there. So it's it's so crazy that it's just kind of those really little things that are the difference between, you know, a 20-1 team.
Sure. And the one thing I do love about this Scylla Esports team, though, is their attitude towards the game and themselves in general. They're here to have fun. It's their first year here, and they look like there will be a team that will learn a lot from this experience and be happy to go again. You know, like, don't get too down on yourselves about having an underperformance here. There's not much you can do at this stage of the game apart from work out what went right, how do we correct things going into the next Season 5.
Well, Mingyu falls there. He's going to be down and out for about 40 seconds. Right-hand side Phoenix was saved last time by Shred.
He's just laughing away in the bottom left-hand corner. He's got a smile. How have you got a smile on your face and you're 21-1?
Well, make that 22-1 as SMITE picks up KO.
That was rude.
Right-hand side Phoenix looking like it's going to fall down. Torres Skies gets the cage off just to try and trap Nocturns in, but they're happy to be trapped there right now because that's right with their target.
Well, this could be a good one for the stat lines for Nocturns game as it's going. Envisionize will jump into the air. Not necessarily in joy, but in defeat here as NozQ picks up one more. Torres Skies gets back to the fountain. But Latin America, they're going to make it.
They're taking down the Titan right now, and tomorrow they're going up against the Titans of the European scene in team rival. It's only Torres Skies trying desperately to defend here. Mingyu's come in as well, but Nocturns Gaming should have this bar any kind of massive upset here. Zion 6 is going to pick up a double kill just to end it. Hey, there we go. They got a kill.
They got a kill.
They got a kill.
Didn't catch it on camera. Congratulations, Nocturns. Day 2 awaits.
Very, very great performance there out of the Latin